BYD has fast become the second biggest selling brand in Australia behind Toyota. And now it's going after the Camry with this new mid-sized hybrid family car, the Seal 6. There's a cheap essential sedan version priced from $34,990 plus on-road costs, but the bigger attraction is this higher spec and more powerful touring premium wagon that's more practical in lots of ways and starts from $39,990 plus on-roads. Yes, it's a good old-fashioned station wagon. That's not old-fashioned at all. With a plug-in hybrid powertrain that BYD says can run for more than 100 kilometres on electric power alone, or more than 1,000 k's with a full tank of fuel. It's affordable to buy and should be cheap to run. So let's put it to the test. Just as we've seen with the full electric version of the Seal, this new plug-in hybrid Seal 6 has a curvy and flowing design that's said to be inspired by the ocean, as seen with the heavily sculpted body lines, front bumper inserts that look a bit like flippers, and LED headlights that BYD calls deep sea eyes. There's also a wave design to the tail lights, while opening up at the back brings us into a good-sized cargo area. There's no spare tyre in the Seal 6, but it does help maximise cargo space that's 670 litres in the touring wagon, extending to 1,535 litres with the rear seats folded, which can be done with handy levers in the side trim. It's fairly roomy across the rear seat, with just enough headroom, a flat floor, and features that we're always looking for, including air vents and charging points. The seats are a good size, have electric adjustment up front with heating and ventilation, and synthetic leather trim with contrast stitching across the cabin. Lots of equipment for the money, including a panoramic sunroof, but just a single zone for the climate control. For the driver, it's an uncluttered and fully digital affair. You're surrounded by screens, the gear selector's on the steering column, which isn't ideal, and the aircon controls are also at the bottom of the screen, which can be difficult to use. Adjusting the lights is also hidden behind the screen somewhere. The tech suite includes a 360-degree camera, wireless smartphone connectivity, vehicle-to-load function, and a broad range of safety systems designed to help the driver stay on the straight and narrow. These can be intrusive at times, but aren't too overbearing. What I'm really keen to know is how this car drives. So let's get going. The Seal 6 has a 1.5 litre petrol engine that works in concert with an electric motor and a high voltage battery to drive the front wheels and keep fuel consumption low. Total power is 163 kilowatts, which is sufficient without being outstanding, while fuel economy when the battery runs low is claimed to be 4.1 litres per 100 kilometres, which is really good. That you can drive it like an EV around the city is where a plug-in hybrid really comes into its own, just so long as you keep the battery charged up. But even just running as a hybrid, the high emphasis on using the electric motor first and always directing charge to the battery extends the driving range. Unlike the sedan, the touring wagon can charge with DC as well as AC power supply, which makes it more practical for topping up at a public fast charging station. This isn't a super powerful car, needing around 8 seconds to get up to highway speeds, so driving it in a relaxed fashion is the way to go. With BYD's latest plug-in hybrid system, the electric motor tends to be the primary power source, so it does feel a bit like an EV to drive. The ride quality is pretty good on the standard 18-inch wheels, and it's quiet in the cabin, especially at highway speeds on smoother roads. The tyres can get a bit noisy over rougher patches, while there's a bit of wind noise off the wing mirrors at 100 km/h. Our first drive has been more of an economy run, trying to prove the point that it can run for more than 1,000 k's on a single tank of fuel and with a full battery. And we're well on our way to achieving that. Taking a long run down the Hume Highway from Sydney to Melbourne, but taking a detour via Mansfield. The fuel tank holds 65 litres, and we've been averaging 5 litres per 100 kilometres. That's pretty darn good, especially considering this car weighs around 1,800 kilos with the big battery on board. And we've been driving in probably the least ideal conditions. In the city, where you can build up battery power through regen braking and the like, you shouldn't need to be filling up very often at all. Station wagons aren't everyone's cup of tea, but the Seal 6 Touring is a practical car for loading up and for keeping a lid on fuel consumption. In our view, those are two major boxes ticked, which makes it worth a closer look. If you're looking for your next car, you can research and compare running costs, features and specs and view loan options at RACV CarMatch.